Hi everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to make some starfish. I have done already different types of starfish. There's a lot of varieties out there, so you can Google them and see which one you want to do. Some of them I didn't really paint the back, like for example, I think it's these because I'm going to glue them on some future projects, maybe a box, maybe a card. That would be really nice. It's lightweight, it's paper clay, so this is what I'm going to use today, but you could obviously use any other kind of clay you wish. I've done them with some texture also. It's really nice. I'm going to show you this and explain it all. A little bit of paint. You can color, of course, in any color you wish and maybe do some blues. Why not? Easy, cheap because of the paper clay. It dries economically because it's just air dry. It dries it within 24 hours right now because it's hot outside. When you let it dry, don't forget to flip it over after maybe 12 hours to make sure it's going to dry evenly on all sides. And look at this texture here. I hope the camera is going to be able to pick it up, a little bit of shade here. It's really nice and it's done in minutes. With no further ado, let's get started. Alright, so what I'm going to use for this project is paper clay. So this is one of many brands that you can find out there, so use whatever paper clay you can find. It's very cheap, it's air dry, so it's economical. You don't need to use a big oven to dry just a few things. And this one is white, which is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to take a little bit off here out. I don't need to use too much. Be careful because it's air dry clay. You need to really shut it close and put it into a baggie and probably into another bag or maybe in a box to make sure it's not going to dry out on you, because I've lost a few of these because I forgot to do it. So it's going to dry fairly quickly. It's really hot outside here. So when you take it out of the box, you need to knead it a little bit before. Make sure your hands are clean. Just knead it a little bit. It's really soft, so if you have some little problems, health problems with your hands, this is really softer than Fimo. This is what I like to use these more than Fimo because I think it's really hard. I have Fimo here. I've bought some soft Fimo. I have this one here, but it's really still very hard and it's going to take me too much time, and I don't have this time to knead it down and put it through the pasta machine. Maybe you have a hint for me to soften it. I've tried to use some liquid Fimo, but it works. It works. It's not bad, but it's still it takes some time. So this is why I'm using this. If your clay is a bit hard, what you can do is add a little bit of water. I have a little bowl here just in case. And also because we're going to put things on top, it's going to help stick it down to it. Okay, so once you're like this, what I like to do is kind of roll it down a little bit so it's not too thick. The examples I give you, I think they were a bit too thick at the beginning, so this is what I like to do. And you need to have this kind of a circle shape. It will be easier to work with. And again, you can make these as big or as thick as you wish. That's going to be fine. And then I'm going to use, you can use the back of a paintbrush, you can use a marker, whatever you want, to start doing this kind of shape here. It's going to help a lot. If you have long nails, this is going to help, because if I try to shape it with my fingers, I'm going to leave nail prints, and I don't want that. So try to space them evenly if you can. You're going to do this kind of 5 times around the circle. 3, 4, and 5. That's going to help you do the beginning of the star shape. All right, and then I'm going to press it down a little bit more. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue this process and pinch it. So this part is going to be kind of more pointy. And you really can give them all kinds of shapes, actually. As you can see, I've got these two here, and I also have this one that is really skinny, because in nature you have different types of starfish. So you really, I'm going to show you the others, so you really can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to really look realistic. That's totally up to you. So I'm pinching this. This is going to be, let's say, my wrong side. This is going to be the good side, so I'm doing this pressing down. And you can play with this and see until you're really happy with it. And also when you're done, you can use a little bit of water to kind of smooth the clay and take all these nail or fingerprints that you can find here. All right, now that this is done, I'm going to take a little bit more of this clay and we're gonna do some little circles, something really thin. Just take a little bit, put it in your hand like this, and you're gonna make tiny little balls. And we're gonna put these little babies on top on the right side of the starfish. In the first example here, I've done a lot, as you can see. How maybe there's too much light. Maybe like this, you will be able to see it better. And on this one, I have put less. So I think putting less is nice. Try to make them even. And now I'm gonna wet it so it will cling to the clay, otherwise it will not, it will fall off. If it does fall off, when everything will be dry, you can use like super glue to put it on top and stick it back on it. And I'm gonna start by one in the center here. I'm gonna press it just a little bit and some more. I'm gonna space them more, so you'll tell me which one you prefer afterwards. And I'm going to do this on each arm of the star. And that's going to be my last. Okay, so I'm pressing it down a bit more for a better contact. And now I'm going to use the inside of a pen like this. I just took that part aside. And now like the refill. In the center, you're going to place this just in the center of your little ball and press down. And you're going to do this to all of them. Once you're happy with it, put it aside and let it dry. I would let it dry probably 24 hours, like 12 hours on one side, then flip it over and 12 more hours on the other side. So all sides of your piece is going to dry out. Otherwise, this part here that is in contact here with the table may not dry at the same pace. So I'm going to put this one aside and we're going to do another one. So again, I'm going to take a little ball and we're going to do the same steps as we did in the beginning to give our star that shape, and then I'll show you that. Now my star is ready. I'm going to use the same thing here. If you have something like, you could use this too. It's a bit sturdier. This is what I'm going to use. Any other tool would work. And then I'm going from the center here to the end of one of the paws, and I'm pressing down. I'm going to do the same thing here. Press down. And press down. Okay, this is what you end up with. All right, I'm gonna do it a little bit more. And if you wish, you can leave it as is. I like to go a little bit further. I'm gonna take this again, and in the center here, I'm not going to make any little balls like we've done previously. I am just going to, we're gonna do like little holes. This is supposed to be, I'm sorry, I don't have the word right now. Sticky feet, I guess. And this is what it looks like. So you can make them a little bigger if you wish. You can space them more. I've done these very close to each other, but this is totally up to you what you want to do. And I'm going to leave this one apart. Now I'm going to show you, this one is the same as in the beginning, except that I've put these little itty bits very, very thin, and the little balls I have put on top, and I didn't touch it because there's some of these starfish that look like this a little bit. It's even maybe more sticky outside, but they kind of look at this. So you really can do many, many other things. I'm just going to do one more, and we're going to give it some texture as well. So this is what it looks like on the sides. And now I'm going to use something that has texture just to put it on top like this, because they're not completely smooth, right? If you have something else, that's fine. You can use whatever you have. But it goes very fast this way. I hope, I'm not sure at all, the camera is going to be able to pick it up. Maybe if I do some shadow, you might see it. Yeah, you can see it here, like little spots, little tiny little holes everywhere. So this is what you can end up with. You can add some more. And I think this one, I'm just going to leave it as is. I might do a little bit of this on this one as well, before it dries out. You need to do this while it's still in this state before it dries out, otherwise you won't be able to do it. Oh yes, this is so nice. I should have done this before. I really love the texture. Can you see this? I love it. And now we're going to leave this to dry, and I'll be back to show you how you can paint them afterwards. When your stars are completely dry, it's time to paint them. So of course you can leave them white. I'm just going to use some white, red, and brown. I'm going to make my own brown. I want something really light colored. So let's see, this one is dry. So I'm going to put a little bit of red first. And add some water. It's going to absorb the paint very fast, so it's going to dry very, very quickly. So I'm going to put this red everywhere, or almost. I'm not going into all the nooks and crevices here, because I will be putting some white over it. Now I'm going to take a wet sponge. I've cut it a piece like this, and I'm going to take away all the excess out. I'm just using a mat here. It's not even silicone, it's a plastic mat. It's a placemat actually. And I'm just going to pounce it like this onto my star. So it's going to reveal even more all the details that we have put on it. I like that. I think it's much nicer that leave it completely, you know, a red bold color. All right. You can see this, okay? Now let's change color and let's do a kind of sand color, a very light brown. So I'm adding a little bit of white to my brown that I have here. And I'm going to use this one now. And I'm going to go back with some white. And just do it a little bit here on the sides. And there you go. How nice is this? I really, really like that. So you see, you can have many options if you want to paint it. Let me show you this one again. I think this one is much nicer than the other. There is a variety of colors that you could use in nature. Look on Google and see what you can find for the colors of your the starfish that you can find in nature. And now you just leave it to dry another time. If you want to put some varnish on top, you could, matte or glossy, that's totally up to you. And there it is. So I'm going to finish them up and everything is dry. I'll come back and I'll show you the results. All the stars are now dry and they're sturdy. You can hear that. It's really nice. I love this one. This is one of my favorite. I love the texture of it. Like I showed you previously, it's really, really nice. I might leave this one white. I will probably do some more and put a little bell on the back as a pendant. I think it's really nice for the season. And you can do so many of them. I think that if they're a little thinner than too thick, it's nicer. But you really can do so many things. Wear them as jewelry pieces or for card making. You can make some tiny ones also for your cards. and so easy and cheap because this kind of clay is really not expensive at all. So please give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share on social medias. This will help greatly my channel. And of course, please leave me all your comments below as well, or any kind of ideas you would like me to do as a tutorial. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care, everybody, and see you soon for other videos. Bye.